Hello, beautiful ones. Hello, hello. Welcome to this space. So we have a wonderful experience to share with you that I think will benefit all in many ways. And I think some will really relate to this space. So I have a beautiful being of light with me today who's in human format. And beautiful Angela is here today. And she has been with me for quite some time now. She does many of my classes and courses, whether being in humans or the Acasma quantum energy spaces that I teach. And Angela had an experience recently in the Acasma quantum expansion course, in which we have a private group chat. And for those who are in the course. And so she had an experience that I think is a common experience for many. And the way in which she navigated it is quite beautiful and powerful. And I think it may bring a lot of empowerment to others who may find themselves navigating these same types of feelings or experiences. So before giving the rest of the whole story away, let me allow Angela to bring in her understanding of what unfolded. So first, thank you, Angela, for being here. Thank
Oh,
you so
yeah.
much.
I'm
Thank you.
happy.
And so take us through what happened. You were in the course. Was this AQE1 or AQE2? I can't remember. Do you remember?
AQE2.
Okay, so it was your second time through course
Yeah,
space. You had already done about 5 weeks of course, and now you're in the second space of the course. So you
right.
had an understanding of the space, you had an understanding of some of the people you were with, because I believe some of them continued on with you.
Yeah.
And so you were in the chat group, and people are writing in and they're sharing. What are they sharing in the chat group? Basically, like their experiences.
Yes. So they were sharing their different experiences in the quantum. And then when they have had different sessions, I think it's a lot. They were talking about the C to C that we do with you once a week, like the attunement stuff. So, and they were telling everything they were seeing, everything they were feeling, all the messages coming through. And the space is supposed to be, and it is, um, you know, to inspire, to share, and to share, love and different experiences. Um, and I started feeling like, because I wasn't having the same exact experiences, I went back to an old program that maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm not seeing all of that. I'm having my own experiences, but they weren't quite what everybody else was having. So I started to second guess myself, um, and having, I've told you that, I had an abusive relationship and I was never allowed to speak my mind or think, so I had a lot of I'm not good enough feelings that I had to try to work through. And so I wanted to leave the chat because I was feeling like, well, I'm not having these experiences. Maybe this isn't for me. And I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to go my own little, and I'll just have my own little thing. And I sent that to you, and you said to me, well, however you feel, the space is, whatever you're feeling, this is your course, this is your path. And sure, I will remove you if you'd like, and then you'd want to come back, we can, do that. So for about a day, I was removed. And then I started, you know, meditating, doing some of your Acasma videos that you have on YouTube, and really, kind of got upset with myself because I said, this is not what you've already been taught. This is not what what you've experienced in these Acasma classes and courses. And, you usually experience nothing but love, and growth. And so I started, really meditating, and I heard, my spirit guides. And this is where I had to learn to trust myself and what I'm hearing, telling me that you are good enough. And then, like what you say all the time, is Acasma meets you right where you're at. Everybody's experience is different. And just because I'm not experiencing those same things yet doesn't mean that I'm not good enough, or that I'm not right where I should be. And that I needed to join the group back because I had a lot to learn from that. That, like, I felt like my spirit guides were telling me, we want you back in that group, and
Mhm.
we want you to learn and to trust yourself, love yourself, and know you are good enough. And so I think it was only a day when I messaged you back and said, you know what? I'm going to push through this old programming. I'm not going to listen to the old limiting beliefs, and I'm going to trust myself, and I'm going to trust my spirit guides. And I asked to be put back in, um, which was hard, and, but you know what? I take that back. It wasn't that hard. Like after 24 hours, and I really felt spirit talking to me, um, that I just knew that's what I had to do and what I needed to do in order to further grow and expand my being. Uh,
Beautiful.
so,
Beautiful.
yes.
I'm so grateful that you agreed to share this, because when this happened, I thought, wow, this, she's not the only one.
No.
Um, everyone is carrying their own experiences of unworthiness or lack of self-love, and they're healing it. But then the old programming, the old go-to knee-jerk spaces, the
Mhm.
muscle memories, they can show up because they're giving you the opportunity to solidify where are you really at, right?
Right.
You
Right.
know, we love to look at it that way. We love to have that perceptional view. So when you here are in the second course, you've already done one, you've already done this 5 weeks in a group chat, now you're in another 5 week space. And well, don't you love the fives? Did you ever realize the fives? Oh my gosh, I just saw that, the change, right? Yes, yes, yes. Because they didn't used to be five. They've been all kinds of other spaces of time and length, but ended up on five. So that's wonderful. And if you do all three, it's 555. So there you go. Um, anyhow, what I was thinking is that whole concept of bringing ourselves exactly what we need to have in the moment to move into the next space of ourselves.
Right.
And so you weren't messing up
No.
by feeling what you were feeling.
Right.
You weren't, not as good because you were feeling what you were feeling. Whenever we're feeling something that's uncomfortable, that's off, that doesn't feel aligned, we automatically go to a judgment call, right? We automatically go to shame or guilt or fear, and we
Yeah.
lift ourselves away from it any way we can because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
But 99% of the time, if not 100, it is merely bringing us what we need most and what we've aligned and designed to bring to ourselves to take us to the next space of ourselves.
Right.
And you, within 24 hours, caught it. You saw it, you heard it, and even in the way it laid out was perfect. Like, I I say this with the most deepest respect for you, but I'm glad you left, in the
Hmm.
sense that it made it even more impactful. It made it even a bigger move on your part,
Right.
because you had to then come back, right?
Hmm.
You had to take it back, which you almost pushed away. And so those spaces were like the most beneficial, optimal ways for you to really solidify the shift in your being. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I'm grateful too that that situation happened and that I left and then chose to trust myself and to understand that this was coming up because it was still something that needed to be healed and addressed, and that I needed to push through in order to move to the next space. And I'm learning that when these uncomfortable situations come up, you need to ask yourself, well, why is this true? Why am I feeling this way? What needs to be healed? What truth do I need to seek in order, or do I need to maybe not seek, but to understand and to really lean into, to move past this. And the truth is, I'm, like you said, I'm not any less worthy. I'm not any less than anybody else. So, um, and I think that I needed to experience that so that I could push through it. And honestly, that's probably the first time I've ever really pushed through it and didn't let it hold me back. Like, I've left different groups before in the past. I haven't. I've let that old programming just control, and then I feel I've missed out on different opportunities because I let that control um, control me. But I'm definitely glad that it happened, because I definitely needed that to come up. And I would encourage anybody, when you have anything uncomfortable that you want to run away from, to really sit with it first. Sit with it and ask, what is this trying to teach me? Is what I'm thinking the truth about me, and who I really am? And most of the time, the answer is going to be no. That's not the truth about you. That's all a program, um, and it's going to keep coming up until you decide to push through it.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. So when those moments happen, we have that mentality, have that understanding, have that knowing that you just so clearly and very beautifully stated. And we can allow ourselves to come from the space of knowing we brought it to ourselves, because
Right.
that's another really big thing we do. People will say or have the feeling as if something's being done to them,
Right.
like it's outside of them and it's being done to them, forced upon them. But when that mindset goes to, I brought this in for a reason, and if I, like you said, if I listen to it now, if I hear myself now,
Right.
then I won't bring this to myself again in this same manner. And what happens is if we don't hear it, it gets bigger the next
Yeah.
time because
Yes.
we're not listening. And so I really love that. And another thing that's in this space that's powerful, getting toning in my ears as I'm talking. Uh, Another thing that's really powerful is the way in which you have witnessed your shift of vibration. So your inner vibrating signature, because everybody and everything is energy. And as you think and feel, you emanate out that frequency, that vibration, and you align the spaces of your life accordingly. So for you to own a moment in which you stepped in and said, I am worthy, and believe it, that means you had shifted your vibration.
Yes.
And then you went back into the chat, and I mean, you came right back in. And not only did you come in, but I've noticed ever since you're more present than you ever were in the most humbly loving way. I share that with you. But I noticed you almost like I just saw you even more active, and you were like, anybody would say anything or share a photo of their daily life, a child's birthday or whatever was going on, right? And
Mhm.
you would be in there with such love. No matter
Yeah.
what was being shared, it would be like, oh, that's so lovely. Thank you for sharing. No, oh, blessings on you, blah, blah, blah. You were just right. You didn't just come in and kind of look at it from the background. You jumped back in and you showed up in a bigger way.
Right. Right.
Did you
I
feel that too?
I do feel that too, because I know, I right when you let me back in, I think the first thing I did, it was like a Sunday or something, and it was a quiet. Nobody was, chatting, because it's a weekend, and I think hey sisters, hey family, love y'all. Just want everyone to have a great day, and I started the conversation. Then after that, there was a bunch of everyone saying Happy Sunday, all those different things. And whenever it was Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day to everybody. So yeah, I do. You know what? I honestly didn't think that much about it until you just said it. But you're right. I did. I said, you know what? I'm going to jump back in here and I'm going to make the most of this space, because this is a space of love and of learning and of expansion. So I'm going to make the most of it. And I'm going to be here to try to spread light and, help others maybe who are not having such a good day. If they just see a little message like that,
Yeah,
that can
you never know, right?
everybody. Yep.
And no one probably knew you were receiving prior the way you were receiving. No one knew. There was
Right.
no, clues given, right?
Right.
And so then you can own that like higher knowing of you never know who's going to come into that space or any space we're in, right? Any
Right.
connections we're in, but who's going to come along that light you're being might be the blessing they've been looking for. And
Right.
there's so many sides to this. So, yes, I'm so grateful that you shared everything you shared with me, because you wrote me immediately.
Mhm.
You wrote me immediately when you wanted to leave. You were very honest, which I relay that to everyone here, that that's a PowerPoint, because keeping it to yourself and not connecting with someone who you feel you would benefit from sharing with? Because yes, I understand we need to use discernment. Some people and would not be the most beneficial in our lives to share with, and others might be more beneficial.
Right.
But you shared with me right away your honesty, and I shared with you, I hope, conveyed your love no matter what.
Yes. Yeah.
Do whatever you need to do.
Right.
And then I let you be. I didn't go after and try to impose anything on you, or, but
Right.
here within 24 hours, you're writing me a whole nother email telling me you flipped the entire space, and you love yourself more than you ever had before. In a sense, you were seeing your self-worth, and you wanted to be around everybody. And it was like,
Yep. Yeah. A complete 180, just totally flip flop. Yes. So, and you helped me realize how big that was. Well, when you messaged me back and say, this is very big. This is very powerful. I said, message me, you know what? You're right. This is huge. It was huge, huge breakthrough for me in self-love and in trusting and in listening to the universe and then just knowing that that's what I needed to do, and that this was the best space for me, and that that old programming just wasn't the truth, and I had to ask myself too, you've done this before, and did it ever really benefit you? So, um, like they say, if you want something different, you have to do something different. So, and that was the other thing that went through my head is, you know what, you've done this before, and you isolate yourself, and then you're blocking your blessings when you do that. So yeah,
yeah,
that's what that's the other thoughts that were going through my head. And I just, said, no, want something different, do something different. And don't buy the old programming. Time to push through. And I'm
yeah,
so grateful that I did. I'm so grateful that I had that experience. I just really feel like it did push me to the next bigger space, better space. Like I guess that's judgment, but I feel it was a better space than being in
yes, yes.
judgment. So
Yes, more free, more open.
yes,
Yes. So, I use that term in Being the New Human a lot, and in AQE, where lately I've been using the term, you're designing and aligning your lives. We're designing and aligning our lives by how we're thinking, how we're feeling, how we're acting in all these spaces.
right.
It's a designing through energy, our perceptions, our beliefs, and we're aligning the experiences that match our designs. Yes. And
Yes.
so when you came back in to the group space, you are now designing your life from a different perspective. You were designing your life from a different view of yourself and view from yourself. Like you were looking out at your life from a different vantage point. So tell me if there are spaces that you have seen in your life that are these different alignments now, because you are doing something different. The
Uh,
outer world reflecting that back to you.
yes, yes. I'm having a lot of experiences, a lot of confirmations. The outer world, seeing lots of different numbers. I mean, like constantly throughout the day, no matter where I look. And sometimes I will have I'll have a thought, and then I will hear things in my mind. Yes, we are here. Yes, we love you, or confirmation of the things that I'm thinking. I will get a feeling that, oh, I just want to go outside for a minute, and then there are deer in my front yard, or I happen to look over and there's a hawk. I mean, I had several hawks one day. Just it happened like 3 times in the same day, fly right in front of my car, and it was just like right in front of me. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I hear you, and you're confirming my thoughts, my feelings, my vibration is different because I am seeing these things and I am trusting these things, and like my inner knowing is coming through more, and then the outer world is confirming what my vibration is much higher, and I am seeing confirmation in lots of things. It's just kind of, it's neat. I've been seeing moths everywhere, and I've been thinking, okay, I found some moth wings, luna moth wings, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm supposed to be looking up the moth and seeing what is the message for me. And then my daughter happens to tag me in a post of this most beautiful moth as I'm looking up what the moth means. So, I mean, and if that's not complete confirmation, I don't know what is. And so I'm learning to trust myself. And, came in my room yesterday, and I always would see flashes of light, or light being, things I would, and then I would question myself, did I really see that? Or was this imagination, or play on the light, or something? And yesterday when I walked in my room, I saw it and I trusted myself. And I said, no, that's what I saw. I said, oh, the angels are here. And it clear as day in my head, yes, we are.
Mm.
I saw a bunch of numbers and I said, oh, the angels are trying to tell me they love me. I've seen so many numbers today. And spirit beings, whichever associate with. But and I heard clear as day, yes, we do. We love you. Like in my head. And before I moved through the space of old programming, I wouldn't have trusted that that was what I was really hearing. I would have thought, I'm making that up. This is all in my head. But I have learned, as my vibration has gotten higher, and as I've pushed through these spaces, I'm seeing confirmation everywhere, and I'm learning to trust those signs and learning to trust myself, and that is the truth. And yet, no, I'm not crazy or making these things up in my head. And these light beings are here. We are here. And that's, and we're here to be the light. And I'm really starting to see that a lot. And I get so excited every time I do, multiple animals, or the deer's crossing. And I'm like, all right, if it's 3 or 4 in one day, then there's a message there, or confirmation that needs to be needs to be looked at, or spirit is talking. And what, spirit is always talking, if we just have to learn to listen. And spirit is us. We are spirit, and we need to learn to trust ourselves, and to trust what we're hearing and feeling and believing. And growing up the way I grew up, in Christian home, Christian private school, and you're taught that it's outside of you, in those things, and that you're looking outside for the confirmations, or the love, or the spirit. But in actuality, it's in you. And I'm finally learning to trust that, and I can see the signs and understand that it is me, that it's in here. And then that's what reflects outer, that it's not something that, I think you said something in one of your classes about, it's not something you have to reach for and pull in. It's already in there. You just have to open up and allow.
Well said. Well said. I love it. I love it. Such powerful understandings that not only are understandings, but they're ways you are being. Yes,
Right,
because it's one thing to read it or hear about it, or, but then to implement it.
right.
That is the full anchoring of that space of consciousness. And that's what you did. You,
Yes.
you took all these spaces of you that you had learned, and became understanding of, and then you made a decision.
Hmm.
In the moment that you said, put me back in, you made the decision to say, I'm living from that space of consciousness. I'm
Right.
living from that belief, that understanding of who I am in my wholeness.
Yes.
And there's no judgment on the other spaces. Like you said, you even said that, right?
Right.
There's no judgment on the other spaces, or how long one decides to live or be the other spaces, right?
Right.
Because it's all unfolding at the optimal level for each individual consciousness. And
Yeah.
everyone is going to have their wake up moments,
Hmm.
plural,
Yeah.
whenever they are ready to have them, and in
Right.
the manner in which they design them.
Right.
Nothing's being done to us by an outer space.
No.
It's being done for us, from within us.
Yes.
So incredibly powerful story that you allowed us to share here, that I'm sure many relate to. We have so many who want to join the Acasma grid that we hold once a month. The videos are here on the channel as well for anyone who wants to see what that's about. We have a lot who want to do that, but they're even nervous about a group Zoom call, And I
Right.
get it, it's a big space. But like we say, keep your camera off if you want. Many come with their cameras off and it just has a name. Some it's, very early in the morning. Some it's very late at night because we're global.
Yeah.
And so whether it's a group call, whether it's a group chat, whether it's an in-person space, many are navigating being with, groups of people in person, or wherever it is unfolding, where that judgment's showing up
Right.
on self, not being like everyone else or enough or whatever it is. Just knowing that, like you said, as long as you continue to hold that thought, you'll continue to hold those experiences.
Yes.
But the
Yeah.
minute you decide to think differently, you will live differently. You will experience differently.
Yes, and I'm 100% proof that that is the truth. So, and I would encourage anybody who felt that way just to try to push through that old programming and give yourself a chance. Give it a chance. Believe in yourself, and if you want different, do different. And yeah, it can be uncomfortable, and yes, it's scary, but when you push through the fear, life is on the other side.
Mhm.
The blessings, the um, it all starts unfolding beautifully. You just have to trust yourself and just push through. Let's push through. And you know what? And if you don't get it the first time, or like me, you think, oh, why am I not seeing everything they're seeing or having these whatever? And I had to look back at, but what am I feeling and seeing? I mean, I have lots of feelings. I can feel the energy moving when I do sessions and things. And maybe sometimes I don't see as much as other people see on my inner eye, but it's coming. But I needed to stop trying to compare my experience to somebody else's, because it that's their experience and mine's coming the way that it should. I just have to trust in and let it unfold and look at what have I felt, what am I seeing, what is happening with me, and see how, when I started doing that, I could see how far I actually have come.
Yeah.
And
Yes, you
um
give yourself the focus you deserved. Instead of
right.
giving the focus to the negative connotation, you decided to say, wait a minute, what am I seeing? And then what happened is it opened up even more. You had that really beautiful conversation going on of, we do love you. We are right here. Get back in that chat.
Yes, yes. Yes, and it was so very, very powerful. And again, I'm so grateful for it, grateful for that experience, because without it, I might, if I would have stayed in that old programming, then I would still be having those old experiences that I really don't want. I wanted to move to the next space of me, but I wasn't allowing myself to. So, because I was hanging on to old stuff. But once I allowed myself to, and to look at me and just worry about me, stay in my own lane, worry
Yes,
about
I love that. That's so powerful. Stay in our own lane. Yes. Don't be
and
deterred.
and
Yes.
be inspired by the other people's stories, and know that that space is going to unfold for me too. I am going to, I'm finding myself, light language. I'm still, I shared a story with you though that it's starting to come through. Like, I was in a session, I was listening to replaying a video of one of your sessions, and when you said, like, words where you said, some of you, your light languages are trying to come through, and as you said it, like, I heard the things in my head, and I said, really? And then I watched a different class, and or a different video, and you said those same exact words that was coming out of my head. And I said, okay, see, it's coming, so stop. And I find my wanting to, I walk around the house, and sometimes my kids laugh because I like just make noises, go la 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 la, and I said, I finally started, like, that's me toning, like trying to tone and to clear and move energy. And I
Mm.
never realized that before. And then, and now I'm getting louder about it. So it's okay. But because I was like, I'm not, why am I, it's not happening for me. But then it is happening when I'm starting to allow it and trust that it's going to happen at the right time, and when I am ready for it to happen and to experience it. Um, so when I started looking at myself and what I am seeing and changing, that changed everything. So to,
And that is so powerful. If we relay one really key closure of the space here, it would be that why isn't it happening creates more experiences of why isn't it happening.
yes,
And at the same exact time, it's happening exactly as is my best benefit. It's happening in exactly the most beautiful way for me,
right.
aligns that flow of it happening, you know? And the power really lies within the being. It's,
Mhm.
we keep saying that it's not outside, but it lies within the being. And our thoughts are extremely powerful directives of our energy, our feelings, our, processing, perceptions,
Yeah.
belief structures. And you've proven it again and again and again in these spaces you've navigated, and so beautifully, navigated so beautifully.
Mm, thank you. And I'm very grateful you into all of our Cosma family, because I'm learning and growing every day, and without you and them, this wouldn't be possible. And so I am extremely grateful for this family that we have, and I would encourage anybody who watches this to jump in with both feet. You won't regret it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to be with us in this space and sharing your story and allowing that understanding, because I know many will benefit from it. And we are very grateful for you. We are grateful for all the love you bring and all the light you shine. You are vibrant, brilliant light in our family. And we are very grateful for you. So thank you, Divine One. Thank
I'm
you.
very, very happy. I hope that anything that we have shared together here will help somebody. So
I know.
um, very grateful. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. And we'll say a big thank you to all who chose to watch this space. And if you
Yes.
have any comments, if you have any questions, if you have any feedback you want to share with us, please comment below and we'll keep an eye on that feed. And if you want to join us in any way, our Cosmo Grid or pod or the courses, anything we have going, the information is below the video. There's links for everything. You can find your way there. Email me. We're always here for you. But we are light and we are here and we are grateful to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.